back, everybody. Another week has come around yet again. Welcome to the Real of Heroes. Here we go. Are you ready? Start the clock. I nicknamed the twin. I must have had a brother that looked like me. I told the other disciples, let's go with and die with Jesus. I wanted to see Jesus' wounds before I would believe. I was one of Jesus' disciples. I gave you that clue already. Jesus told me to stop doubting and believe. Do you know who I am? Well, if you guessed it, it was Thomas, commonly known as Doubting Thomas. That's it for this week, but we've got a wonderful prize. This week we're getting a chocolate. Uh-oh, what happened to this chocolate?
Sorry. I love chocolate.
Oh, Zeb. Anyway, you guys can have the empty wrapper. Till next week, everybody, on the Real of Heroes.
Misha, do you know that I told Andy that I held my breath for 2 minutes and he didn't believe me? He said I had to prove it.
Well, you see, Sam, sometimes when we hear things, it can be really difficult for us to believe it. And we doubt it because it seems impossible. But sometimes we've just got to have faith that even if it seems impossible, it really did happen.
That's true. I have to see things with my eyes to believe them too.
Hey, Sam, I've got a game we can play. It's called Believe It or Not. So I'm going to show you some pictures, and I want you to tell me if you believe that it's true or if you doubt it.
Yay! I love games.
All right.
Let's do it, yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so here's our first picture. This is the world's smallest dog, and this dog is only 9.65 centimeters tall. That's about as big as this cup.
There's no way that's real. Photoshop is amazing these days. I doubt that's real.
Well, Sam, believe it or not, but it's true.
Wow!
So, our next Believe It or Not says, this is the world's biggest moth, and it measures 27 centimeters across its wingspan. That's just short of this ruler.
What? 27 centimeters? That's bigger than my face.
It is.
I really hope that's not real. Wait, I doubt this one.
Well, Sam, believe it or not, but it's true as well.
How big was the caterpillar?
Huge. Okay, so our next Believe It or Not says that this is the world's largest pumpkin. This pumpkin weighed 1,190 kilograms. That's more than a car.
Wait, I did see this one on TV, so I know that it's real. Can you imagine all the pumpkin soup they made with that big pumpkin?
That was
Wow.
huge. You're right. It is true. We do believe this one. All right, here's the next one. Believe it or not, but the most tricks that a pig has done in 60 seconds, that's 1 minute, is 13 different tricks.
What? Pigs can't do tricks. Or maybe they can. I did see a really clever pig in a movie once, but maybe that wasn't real. Okay, I doubt this one. No, maybe it's real. No, I doubt it. Oh, I don't know.
Well, believe it or not, Sam, but this is true as well. Okay, our next one says, believe it or not, but a single bowl of pasta has been eaten in 27 seconds.
Okay, that's crazy. But if it was Zeb eating a bowl of popcorn, he could do it in 10 seconds. I know he could. But a bowl of pasta? Maybe it's real. I don't know.
Well, believe it or not, Sam, but it is real. And you see, often in our lives, people will tell us something, or we'll hear something, or we'll read about something, and it'll seem impossible, and we'll think that there's no way it's true. And it's okay to have those questions. It's okay to have doubts. And it's okay to work through those things. Sometimes we might even have doubts about Jesus and what we believe and who he is. And that's okay too. Jesus loves us so much that he wants us to ask him those questions so that he can reveal himself to us. He wants to reveal his truth to us so that we know we never, ever have to doubt Jesus.
Misha, didn't Jesus have a very close friend of his that doubted him?
Actually, he did. And that's the hero we're going to learn about today. Let's go look.
Yay!
Have you ever done something silly and gotten a nickname for it? For example, I fell in front of a group of people, and from then on, people just started calling me Slippy. So, one of Jesus' disciples named Thomas did the same thing. He had a small slip-up, and everyone from then on called him Doubting Thomas, even though he wasn't alone in his slip-up. Today, I'm going to tell you his story, and let's see if you agree that from now on we should just go back to calling him Thomas. His story is in the New Testament, in John chapter 20, verse 1 to 29. That Sunday evening, the disciples were meeting behind the locked doors because they were afraid of the Jewish leaders. Suddenly, Jesus was standing there among them. "Peace be with you," he said. As he spoke, he showed them the wounds in his hands and his side, and they were filled with joy when they saw the Lord. What were the disciples focusing on? Yes, they were focusing on Jesus. One of the 12 disciples, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, was not with the others when Jesus came. They told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he replied, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands and put my fingers into them and place my hand into the wound on his side." What was Thomas focusing on? Yes, Thomas was focusing on doubt. Oh no, Thomas. 8 days later, the disciples were together again, and this time, Thomas was with them. What do you think Thomas was focusing on? Yes, Thomas was focusing on doubt. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. "Peace be with you," he said. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hand in the wound on my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." "My Lord and my God," Thomas exclaimed. What do you think Thomas was focusing on? Yes, Thomas was focusing on Jesus. Then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who believe without seeing me." After that story, Thomas became known as Doubting Thomas. Can you believe that? Do you think that's a fair name? If they had to write a book about his life, I think the cover would look something like this. But when Jesus was faithful to show Thomas his wounds, Thomas believed. So maybe the cover of his book would look like this, which better suits his story. Thomas did a lot more than just doubt. Thomas chose to follow Jesus and be one of his disciples. So perhaps the cover of the book should look something like this. So now, let me tell you something else that might change how you see Thomas. So Jesus' friend Lazarus had passed away, and Jesus wanted to go to Bethany to see him. But all the disciples were afraid because everyone in Bethany wanted to kill Jesus. But Thomas said, "Let's go with and even die with Jesus." Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds very brave. Perhaps the cover of his book should have actually looked like this. Now, what was Thomas focusing on? Yes, Thomas was focusing on Jesus. So when Jesus was resurrected, which means he came alive again, Mary Magdalene ran to tell the disciples. And the Bible tells us that the story sounded like nonsense to them. Thomas wasn't alone in his doubts. And now that we know all of these things, can we agree that Thomas should just be called Thomas from now on? Because he still had faith and he still loved Jesus despite his doubt. And we can do the same. We can choose to have faith in our faithful God despite our doubts.
What did you learn?
What do you know? Come on now,
Be a faith hero.
Ooh, I want to be a hero.
Yeah, me too.
Can I be a hero too?
Yeah.
Hey Faith Heroes, do you remember who our Faith Heroes was today? It was Thomas, and Thomas taught us that the best way to move our focus away from doubt and back onto Jesus is to remember how faithful He is. Will you have faith in our faithful God? Catch you next time.